What's up, everybody? It's TJ at 626 Productions, and welcome to a new little series I have going on the channel. Something finally outside of the sim leagues for now, and this is going to be kind of more of a podcast slash a daily show type of deal. Once we finally get rolling, it's going to be about a 20 to 30 minute show. We're just going to talk about sports. And there's not really going to be any limit on the sports. One day it might be primarily football, next day it might be primarily soccer, and or it's going to be a combination of everything. So it's going to be a lot of fluidity with the show. Just kind of depends on the everyday sort of thing, and lots to still be figured out. Today being the first one, it's kind of running without a script. Just kind of talking about what this is going to become, what the hopes are, kind of like what the channel's looking like right now. So yeah, come with all of us on this journey. I say all of us because um, as this podcast show gets going, there's probably going to be more guests or hosts, either every day or part time. And we'll probably see that here soon. But for a lot of days at the beginning, it's going to be primarily just me. That being said, lots of sports going on right now. It's May 20th. It's about 4:30 Eastern time as I'm recording this, and lots of playoff stuff going on. We just got our two NBA conference finals last night. I'm not going to go too in depth. I haven't been able to watch the series very much. I will give my two series predictions really quickly on that. I think out of the Eastern Conference, very easily, Boston's going to make it through. Indianapolis has had a great run, but I just think that Celtics team is too good. Coming into this playoff season, like including the hockey, Boston just, they had two really good teams. I mean, someone had a chance to at least make it to the finals. The Bruins got knocked out by Florida in hockey, but that being said, Celtics are still in it. They're playing the Pacers. Again, I think the Pacers have been a good team this playoffs, but I could easily see the Celtics winning in 5, but probably Celtics in 6 over the Pacers out of the Eastern Conference. Now the Western Conference. This is where I know a lot less. Timberwolves are getting a lot of talk right now. Anthony Edwards has been a beast this season, so much so that even though I haven't been able to watch a lot of basketball, this year in general, I'll go ahead and put myself out there. My Hornets, that's my team. There's not a whole lot to watch right now, but maybe someday soon we'll get there. But right now, it's really tough to watch them on the day in, day out basis. But from what I'm able to read, the highlights I'm able to see, the T-Wolves are looking pretty good. Mavericks, Luka Doncic, he's going to have to really step it up for them to have a chance, because it seems like Minnesota's offense, Karl Anthony Towns is a beast. I feel like he doesn't get talked about near as much anymore, primarily because of Anthony Edwards, but also probably because of my limited knowledge with watching the basketball. But I think this series goes 7. I think this is a 7-game series, but I don't think the Mavericks have enough this season. It's just Minnesota's the hot team. They're going to keep riding their momentum, and I think it goes 7. I think Minnesota makes it to the finals. I don't want to say a finals prediction between the Celtics and Timberwolves right now, but I think that could be a really good finals for a lot of different reasons, if that's what we get. We'll get there when we get there with the finals. I'll talk on it then. But I have the Timberwolves and the Celtics meeting in the finals as of this moment. Now, switching gears back to hockey. Tonight, there's a game 7 between Vancouver and Edmonton. That's going to decide who is going to play Dallas in the Western Conference Finals. I have never been high on Edmonton. I feel like they are consistently overhyped, and they usually get their one playoff series win, maybe, and then they're out. So I have Vancouver. I have Vancouver making it to the Western Conference Finals to play Dallas. Now, this is not a conference final for both sides that I really want to watch. I talked about how I'm a Hornets fan for basketball. My fandom's all over the place. Get ready for this. Penguins. Yes. So, as a Penguins fan, I hate seeing the Rangers in the finals. I'm not a big fan of the Panthers, just on the fan perspective of it. But, as just watching the games, I'm definitely going to want the Panthers to win over the Rangers, and they definitely have a good club. They just beat the Bruins in 6, and they also beat Tampa, who in the last 5 years have been consistently one of the best clubs in hockey. They played really good down there. I'm blanking on it. They may have won 3. I don't think they won 3 cups in a row. They won 2 cups in a row for sure, and I believe they made the finals in the other one that was going for the 3rd cup. But nonetheless, won that in 5, beat the Bruins in 6. Now they play the Rangers. The Rangers have unfortunately looked pretty good this playoffs. They swept the Capitals. They beat the Hurricanes in 6, who, going into this, Carolina was my pick to win the Stanley Cup. I just thought, they had a very full club. But, they win it in 6, and, really, there was no doubt that the Rangers were going to win that series. They got up 3-0. Carolina wins 2. Ultimately, that's where it ended for the Rangers. So going into this prediction for the Eastern Conference, do I want the Rangers to win? No. Do I think the Rangers will win outright? Also no. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tight series. I definitely see this one going 7. It's going to be very physical. The Rangers hit hard. The Panthers are on you at all times. They don't have as many, big hitters, you could say, as the Rangers, but they're going to be hitting. They're going to be hitting more, maybe not quite as hard and as tough, but they're going to be on you. They're going to pester you. It's going to be a good series, I think, between the Panthers and Rangers. I have it going 7, and this is probably the bias that I have against the Rangers talking, because that's just how this show is going to go. I'm probably going to have a lot of different factors going into some of my predictions. It's not just going to be clear cut. Hey, I don't like you, but you're going to win. Some of it is going to be, I'm probably going to be going against you a little bit, so that's probably going into some of my decision. I think the Panthers win this series in 7. Now, Western Conference. I'm going to try to dance around both teams winning a little bit, but Dallas. Also don't like Dallas. There's a lot of teams you'll see that I don't like. There's also a lot of teams I do like. But right now you're, funny enough, getting the teams that I don't like. But Dallas, I think they're playing really good hockey. They beat the defending Stanley Cup champions in 7. That was a very tough series because we know that Vegas likes to do certain things to the cap that may or may not be, what they are. But, they win in 7. Very impressive for the Stars. That was a tough series. Then they go turn around and they play Colorado, who's also great club. Great club. They've been playing really good hockey. They got some things going on, I think, in the locker room, but when they get on that ice, they're a good club. But nonetheless, they win that in 6. So Dallas has a lot going into this. I think that, honestly, as much as I don't like Edmonton and have had you know, my opinions of how good they actually are, I think Edmonton would stack up better against Dallas than Vancouver would. I think Edmonton has the best chance of beating them in the 7 game series. Um, but if it's Edmonton, I think the Stars win in 7. But if it's Vancouver, the team I actually think is going to beat Edmonton tonight, um, I think Dallas wins that series in 5 or 6. Um, I just don't like Vancouver matching up against them personally. I don't think that Vancouver is going to be able to go pound for pound every game against Dallas. Unless Jamie Benn decides to cross check someone in the head in the first minute again, I think that Dallas is going to make their way to the Stanley Cup final. And regardless of it's Panthers or Rangers that meet Dallas, if that's what happens, I think that would be a great Stanley Cup final for competition's sake. That would be a really tough, really hard nosed, not really a finesse, uh, series. It's going to be a in your mouth kind of, you know, toughness hit after hit series, which could be really good. But again, just like NBA, I'm not going to get into any finals predictions. Um, that's going to happen when it happens. Um, you know, not really changing gears. I'm not really going to go into too much baseball today on the first series, or the first edition of this series, rather. But I will talk a little bit about soccer. We're getting to that point in the season now that you're about to have a lot of people start going off for international duty. Um, you have, I'm not the biggest on national soccer, so give me some slack here. I believe there's a Copa America coming up this summer. You have the Euros this summer. Um, Olympics are this summer. So you're going to have a lot of different opportunities for players leaving their club, senior teams, going off playing for their country. It's going to mean that a lot of depth players are going to need to step up at a lot of these clubs. Um, the biggest club, namely Inter Miami. They sit top of the table in the East, top of the table overall. They're just 1 point ahead of Cincinnati. But I mean, everyone knows Inter Miami. Everyone watches Inter Miami. Um, but they have a lot of big players that are, they're going to go off on international duty, and there are a lot of the important players on their offense. Inter Miami has struggled the most defensively this season. So you take that offense out of it, scoring at least 2 goals a game every match. And now you have a back line that's giving up 2 goals a match, and that offense may or may not be able to keep up to be able to get the points, get the 3 points. So Inter Miami could see a bit of a stutter during the summer in the standings, and could, find themselves as a fringe playoff team. But that being said, they'll be back in the playoffs. Everyone will be back by the end of the summer. They'll make a playoff push. They'll be in, barring any injuries or unforeseen things. But you could see the table really shake up. You look at the West. You have both LA clubs, LAFC, LA Galaxy at 4 and 5. LAFC is a club that's in danger of losing some points over the breaks. Galaxy as well, but not to the same degree. Some of the clubs, down lower table that are fringe playoff teams right now, I'm looking at St. Louis City, Sounders, Timbers. Those are clubs that are really going to benefit from the summer and need to benefit from the summer, as they, haven't started off for what you would kind of have expected this season. St. Louis City being probably the biggest letdown of all the clubs right now. Just, finishing top of the West last year, losing in the playoffs, but, still having pretty much the same squad that they had last year. That was such an incredible inaugural season. In a similar context, Orlando City, finishing second in Supporter Shield, They started off the season in the CONCACAF Champions League Cup, whatever it's called this season. It changes by year. Slow start. They're finally finding a form, but certainly not what you would kind of expect now that they've been out of that competition since the second round. You have a club like Columbus making a deep run in that league, in that competition, who sits 3 positions higher than them. 5 points separate Columbus and Orlando City. And Columbus, looks very good again this year. Certainly, they've had to work their roster a little bit, make sure that their lineups are good, make sure everyone is peak fitness. But I mean, they look very good. I would certainly expect for them to compete for the MLS Cup once again this season. Um, but the East is stacked. West has some good teams, but the East is incredibly stacked this year. Should be interesting. You have the U.S. Open Cup going on. I will make predictions about that tomorrow. The plan for this series today is a later recording. I hope to get this out this afternoon. Fingers crossed. Not the best with editing, to be completely honest. And I mean, there will probably be next to no editing at this. And that's about my skill level. So I'll work on that as we get going. Hope to add some videos and such over time with this series, whether it's, uh, recording me, being able to put up clips of what I'm talking about, being able to put up pictures of what I'm talking about. Um, that'll be worked out hopefully in the near future. But I hope to have this go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and have it go out by lunchtime on the East Coast, about 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Hopefully, that is my plan. But we will see. It is very fluid. This is a brand new thing for me. This first episode, it's a first episode. It's a pilot, and it's a pilot with no script. So I'll take this, learn from it. I hope if you've made it this far or hearing this part, that you enjoyed, and leave a comment about anything that you may want to hear, anything that you may want to be a main part of this mini podcast series. And yeah, once again, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and look forward to it. Once again, looking at Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and that Wednesday day, I'm going to use that to have a similar show, but all about the sim leagues. So that will also come out. First one will be coming out this Wednesday, May 22nd. So make sure you tune into that. But thank you all so much making it this far and listening to the first rambling that I have posted on 626 Productions. And I hope you all have a great day.